is not a normal game. It feels like you're walking inside a strange dream, one where every shadow hides a secret and every smile hides something darker. Released in 2010, this survival horror game takes you into a small town of Greenvale, a place that looks peaceful on the outside but it's full of hidden fear. You play as FBI agent Francis York Morgan, a man who is both clever and strange. Speaking to an invisible friend named Zack, he comes to this town to solve a brutal murder, but he soon realizes that the case is far more than one killing. There is something supernatural moving in the darkness. The game is known for its weird mix of tones. One moment you're laughing at York's quirky habits, like how he loves coffee or talks about old movies, and the next you're trapped in a nightmare where twisted creatures crawl out of the shadows. The world of Greenvale feels alive but also cursed. The air is heavy, the music sometimes feels out of place, and the people you meet all seem to have secrets of their own. Often called the strangest survival horror game ever made, it feels like an old horror movie mixed with a strange television show, where every scene feels both wrong and right at the same time. Some say the game is broken, with clunky controls and odd design, but others believe that is part of its charm. Beneath the strange and spooky surface, the story will pull you deeper and deeper until you cannot escape. Deadly Premonition is not just about horror, it's about living inside town. The gameplay feels like a mix of survival horror, detective work, and even a life simulator. At its heart, the game lets you explore Greenvale. You drive your car, talk to people, and follow clues about the murder case. But it's not a simple, straight path. You can choose what you do, and the game rewards you for exploring. The combat parts put you against strange zombie-like enemies in dark, haunted areas. You use guns or even improvised tools to fight them off. The controls may feel stiff at times, but that adds to the old-school survival horror feeling. Battles aren't just about action, they are about surviving, conserving ammo, and staying alert, because enemies can overwhelm you if you're not careful. Outside combat, the game feels surprisingly relaxed. You can eat food, drink coffee, smoke cigarettes to pass time, and even shave your beard. York can get tired and hungry, so you have to manage his needs like in real life. Driving around Greenvale is a big part of the game. You listen to York talk about his thoughts or movies while heading to your next objective. It feels like you're living inside the character's mind. Side quests give more life to the town. You can help town folks with small tasks, and in return, you unlock new items, weapons, or even story details. The more time you spend, the more alive the town feels. Days and nights pass, and every character has a schedule. They wake up, go to work, and live their own lives even if you're not watching. The strange mix of survival horror, detective story, and slice of life gameplay makes Deadly Premonition unlike any other game. It's not perfect, but it feels personal, like the game was made for you to experience in your own way. It has many interesting facts that make it stand out. First, the game is known for being one of the most divisive games ever made. Some people call it a masterpiece, others call it one of the worst games ever created. It even won a Guinness World Record for most critically polarizing survival horror game. That means the reviews were either very high or very low. There was no in between. The game's creator, Swery65, wanted to mix humor, horror, and mystery into one experience. His love for TwinPeaks, a famous TV show about a small-town murder mystery, inspired much of the atmosphere and characters. York, the main character, shares many similarities with the detective from that show. Another fun fact, the game was released under different names and versions. In Japan, it was called Red Seats Profile. Later, it was re-released as Deadly Premonition Director's Cut, with updated controls and some added content. Despite its flaws, the game developed a huge cult following around the world. Fans love its strange characters, odd conversations, and deep hidden story. It's also interesting that the game included things you usually don't see in horror titles, like eating, sleeping, and car maintenance. These small details made the world feel alive. Players could even choose to let York grow a beard if they didn't shave. It's these unusual touches that made Deadly Premonition stand out and remain unforgettable. Another title that Deadly Premonition inspired is Mizzurna Falls, a game that came out exactly 12 years before Deadly Premonition. It was on PlayStation 1 and it had mystery stories too. When I first played Deadly Premonition, I honestly did not know what to expect. At the beginning, the controls felt awkward and I almost gave up, but something about the strange world of Greenvale pulled me in. The way York talked to his imaginary friend, the way Coffee gave him messages, and the odd behavior of the townsfolk, it all felt so strange. But I could not stop playing. I remember driving around the empty roads at night with only the sound of rain and York's voice. Filling the silence, it was both calming and creepy at the same time. Then the horror parts hit me harder because I had let my guard down. The monsters weren't just scary, they felt wrong, twisted, like they came from a nightmare. What made the game special for me was not just the horror, but the mix of emotions. Sometimes I laughed at how weird things were, and sometimes I felt true dread. By the end, I realized that Deadly Premonition was not about being a perfect game. It was about making me feel something I couldn't forget. The story begins with FBI agent Francis York Morgan, called to Greenvale to solve the murder of a young woman named Anna. On the surface, it looks like a normal case, but York quickly discovers the town's high dark secrets, strange red seeds, mysterious symbols, and twisted creatures suggested something supernatural is at work. As York investigates, he meets the townsfolk, each with their own hidden truth. Some are kind, some are suspicious, but all are touched by the strange presence in Greenvale. At night, York is dragged into a nightmare world, where ghostly figures and horrific monsters attack him. These visions are tied to the case, pushing him closer to the truth. York's search led him to uncover a pattern. The red seeds are connected to ancient rituals, and the killer is not acting alone. Someone powerful is protecting the darkness. Slowly, York unravels the mystery while speaking to his unseen friend Zack, who seems to guide him through the madness. The shocking twist is that Zack is not just an imaginary friend, he's a hidden part of York himself. Born from childhood trauma, the final battle reveals the true enemy, a man corrupted by the red seeds who seeks to spread the darkness. In the end, York and Zack faces his past, defeats the devil, and brings peace to Anna's spirit. But Greenvale will never be the same. Its shadows remain, waiting for the next lost soul.